how did this week go?
This week went pretty well. I mean, the starting of the week started with a loss, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I kept on taking shots. I had a trading plan, and uh, my next three trades kind of, even though I have not taken out the profit, I mean, I've brought the stop loss to secure the trade.
Yeah.
But they, according to my trading plan, and which I will discuss later, I mean,
Yes.
my profit targets are higher. So this could be like, and this is based on different strategies or thesis that we went through earlier, like some of them based on Elliott wave, and I believe
Yeah.
one of them is based on the reverse wave. So
Yeah.
even though those are in profit and my hand is itching to at least lock in the profit, I'm letting it run, and I feel good that I'm doing this because I mean those are growing per day. So I feel good, and I think thanks to you, like I said, I mean this is my first like chalked out, planned, profitable 3-digit number. This is my first one. So
I
I'm
know.
feeling good.
It's wonderful. It's
I'm
great.
feeling very good actually.
Yeah. You see, as long as you control your losses, right? Imagine in this situation where you had a short and you didn't close your stop loss.
Right,
um,
right.
let's say you were trading on a different, I mean, I can see you're trading different pairs here. So if you were holding your short, I can see that one's even leveraged 5 times.
Yes, that was a leverage trade. Yeah.
What would have happened if you did not, if you didn't take your stop loss, right? Because you thought it was,
Right.
you tried to get out of break even and it didn't, and just went wildly against you, and you would have had all your profits eaten from one trade that you refused to close. So it's like I
Correct.
keep now you're starting to see where I was saying, as long as you control the losses, the profits will take care of themselves. As long as you let the profits go to, people, they like to, when they make trading mistakes, they hold a trade that goes against them more than it should, right? And then and the other side too is that when the trade goes in their favor, they don't let it go. They cut it so quick to double whammy of influences you have to learn to work with. And one is that you have to learn to take your losses quickly, and you have to let your profits run. And usually it's the opposite of those two that end up happening, or just
Right.
one of them happen. Like all you need is one of them to just really kind of screw you up, right? Right. And now that you are starting to see that, look, if I let a trade goes in my favor, I'll let it go. If I cut my losses, it's really difficult to lose in the long run over a lot of trades.
Right. Right. And I think what change, like the big change that has happened to me is now once I look at all the facets of what my trading plan is, I put a stop loss immediately. Like once I enter a trade,
Yes.
earlier I never used to do that. Earlier, like it was like you said last class, it was like more of a gambling mentality
Yes.
where I would not put a stop loss. I would expect or live on hopium that, okay, this will eventually turn into in my side of the things. But now, regardless, once I've done my thorough research, I just immediately put a stop loss. So I think that has gone well for me.
Good. Very good. Yeah, that's your stop loss should be placed right away. As soon as you enter the trade, stop loss placed, especially when it comes to like BitMEX and things like that. Like the moment that you enter that trade, and it takes your order, you already should be entering your stop loss, right?
Right.
I learned in Forex to do that, because in Forex, you have these news releases, like sometimes every hour you have a news release, and price can spike, like how Bitcoin spikes. It can spike like that within an hour, just breaking all bounders, all all boundaries and borders and reason and logic. And so I learned that you have to place your stop loss immediately when you enter the market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's really good. As long as you do that, you have covered that side where, that's one of the hardest things, is to take that stop loss, right? That's why
Right.
people don't like placing the stop loss there. Because if you don't like putting a stop loss there, that means you haven't really fully admitted that you could be wrong. It's an ego thing. That's why you want to place a stop loss. You don't want to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But if you accepted the loss, then you will put your stop loss. You will keep your stop loss. You won't change it if
Mm-hmm.
you've still uh, um, your mind is still accepting that you could be wrong, and you're okay to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be at the point now which you've realized that you realize where we place our stop losses, where you don't want to be in that trade anymore if you get stopped out. Like, you don't want to be in it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've lost interest in that. Now you're going to look for something else, right? That's why if you see, have you noticed that what I say in my language, that I say, like, if it comes back here, we don't really want it anymore.
Right.
And you notice that usually when we get stopped out, the market goes far further than where we put our stop. Usually, right? Rarely do we ever get just shaken out, and then we never get a chance to get back in, right?
Yeah.
Rare. It usually goes much further when we get stopped out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all these things that that will help you, right? Because the way that you place your stop losses are the way that I'm teaching you, right? You're not doing it the
Mm-hmm.
way other people are placing their stop losses. You're not placing them at the very bottom of the low, right? That's where everybody else does, right?
Right.
Everybody else places their stops at the low. That's
Mm-hmm.
why you're able to minimize your losses. And then now with the fibs, that you're using the fibs, right? Using Elliott wave, using all that to really extend your profit. I mean, look at this. Like, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This is unrealized profit. It's true, it's unrealized, right? But look how
Yes.
like this one here, how many losses did that potentially wipe out?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we even went over your homework last time. You had made some mistakes. You had closed too early. Remember that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
See, even you make mistakes because you have good risk reward ratios, because you take your stop losses, you are still profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Now,
tracking the risk reward has also helped me. Like,
yes.
I'm one thing I've seen is I'm not jumping on any trade. Like earlier, like I used to be very like spend hours and hours and do like hourly scalps, and
Yeah.
many time it'll work, many time it won't, and eventually it'll be like a big loss.
Yeah.
So now I'm being very patient. I'm not jumping onto BitMEX trades just for the heck of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that has worked in my favor. If you look, many of them are non-leverage trades, and they have been profitable. And I'm feeling good that even without BitMEX, I'm able to make profit.
Yes. Yes. It's very good. Right? Because at the end of the day, what matters is you make good calculated trade. It's about math, right? As long as
Hmm.
the math is good, you take the trade, right?
Hmm.
And you learn to gain confidence in that math, and your mind will forget about these things. You won't even worry about these things. These things will come as a byproduct, right? But what you're focused on are numbers like that, right? You're
Yeah.
focused on that. You're focused on mostly this. This is like your main focus. You may feel like you didn't optimize it enough.
Hmm.
What's important is you had a, you followed your trade plan. And if you followed your trade plan and you still lost the trade, it's still a good trade.
Yes.
Remember,
I think that was the biggest learning. Yes.
a good trade is not determined at the end, okay? A good trade is not determined at the end where it's like, okay, well, did I win or lose? That was it a good trade or not? No, a good trade is spotted when you
Hmm.
chart it down and you say, this is a good trade. I'm going to enter it. Right? It's good risk reward ratios. Right? It's got
Right.
good volume signals backing up. That's a good trade. That's what makes a good trade. It's not whether you make money or not. That is the byproduct.
Yeah.
You focus on making good trades, right?
Hmm.
And you will see numbers like these, right?
Right.
If you focus
Right.
on making good trades.
Yeah.
So yes, it's good that we discuss and say, well, what are things you could have spotted in the future. But what's important, I want you to realize, is that you've made a good trade, right? Um, because you followed the plan. Your risk reward ratio wasn't great, but if it was, let's say, 3 to 1, I'd say, oh, that was a good trade, right?
Hmm.
This one was an okay trade.
Hmm.
you know, for a scalp, right? See, a scalp,
Right.
2 to 1. Honestly, 2 to 1 is what most people do, if not even less. Some people do
Hmm.
1 to 1. Some people do 1.5 to 1. Swing trading, you're going to get about 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, around that, right? That's why more experienced traders tend to move towards swing trading.
Hmm.
Inexperienced traders usually start with the scalping. But
Right.
especially from what I've learned from my experience and watching other traders, most new people start off scalping,
Hmm.
thinking that that's where they're going to make the most money. But what they realize later on, after if they manage to survive long enough, is that it's not about taking a lot of trades. It's about taking good risk reward ratio trades, and risk reward ratio. Most people, they usually don't. They have no better than really 2 to 1, maximum 3 to 1,
Hmm.
right? Because they don't. On top of that, they don't enter stop losses like how we do, and how we enter stop losses. Um, it allows you to have those tight stop losses, so you can do the scalps, and you can still win with good risk reward ratios, right? But in this one,
Right.
um, I want you to notice that 2 to 1 risk reward ratio, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. You could have at least secured your profit at 1 to 1, right?
Right.
Right, and you had a daily weakness on your side, right? You had a daily weakness on your side, and you did see it play out. It just didn't move enough. It just shows you how much
Yes.
strength there was in this market, right?
Yes.
Like, it took a long time for that weakness to play out. Even, a lot of people were saying it's going to come back down to this trend line, right? And we're going to go over
Right.
that in class as well, right? That everyone was saying it's going to 87. I was looking at this, and uh, we've been going on an increasing. We've been going parabolic, right? It's a very
Hmm.
possible thing that this thing could have went steeper, right?
Right.
And that's exactly what we've done. We've went steeper. We've managed to hold. We've actually managed to hold this up here. We never had to go down here and bounce off this area here where we had broken out of, right?
Hmm.
This is showing you how strong Bitcoin is right now. Right? This is really good to see. But
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You start seeing, and not just here. I actually made. I didn't. I didn't chalk it out because we always talk about crypto, but I made $211 on a Tesla short, and a small short, but but still, like I did exactly what we see here in crypto. Um,
yes, it works in
uh,
stocks too because you can see volume in stocks, right?
exactly, like on the hourly, I saw
Yeah,
weakness, and there was a effort to fall, and then I just took a small position. But it's exactly the same concept I saw there.
yeah. So I mean, no, we didn't even get a chance to go through all your homework, right? But you
Yeah,
know what? I will look at this.
yeah.
I will look at. Is there any other questions specifically with your homework? I
No,
I'm happy with this. You're spotting this and you're earning this. This is good, right? This is good.
right.
But any other questions specifically with your homework?
No, I didn't. I mean, other than that first trade, I didn't have any questions. I feel good. I'm taking smaller position size compared to my account size, but I'm little by little. gaining confidence, which I'm feeling good. Even baby steps, I mean, it's working so far.
Yes. Yes, and as you see, you can apply this skill to anything. Really,
Right,
right?
right.
This
Yeah.
is this is what people all strive for is this skill,
Hmm.
because you can go anywhere with this skill, right?
Right.
But
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I think I'm very grateful to you, and for you to help me guide through and mentor through this journey.
oh well, it's been a pleasure. And you know, you have you worked for it, right? So know,
Yeah.
I
At
give you
least
the
I'm
whole.
seeing some light at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah. But you can see how important it is to really have someone to hold your hand to do this. It doesn't reading books
Right.
can only do so much. And like I
Right.
told you in the beginning, the learning curve, right? The learning curve takes 5 to 7 years to get to really what you're doing right now. It takes
Right.
usually people 5 to 7 years, if not more, right?
Right.
But if you have oh, it's like what I had a service one day I did on Sunday, and I asked the congregation, um,
Mm-hmm.
oh, is there a shortcut to wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
And some of them said no. Some of them said yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told them, and they said, no, no, there is a shortcut to wisdom. The shortcut to wisdom is
Yeah.
basically if you can find wisdom and follow it, learn from other people's mistakes. You follow
Mm-hmm.
other people's experiences, leverage yourself off that. Then, yeah, you can shortcut yourself to that wisdom. You can have that wisdom, but you can
Yeah.
only get it from someone who has it. So if you have someone that's guiding you step by step, and which uh, these days it's not only hard to find,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also very expensive. Uh,
Right.
but that's for the fees that I'm charging. Mm, there are people that charge far
Mm-hmm.
more, and and you still don't get that personal experience. You're more in like a class environment most of the time. To find a
Right.
one-on-one mentor, it's not easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
So um, now that you've seen what it's like to be in my class, now you see what it's like
Right.
to have someone personally interested in your trading, following you up, and it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different,
Right.
right? But but it was your decision, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy I can help you with that, but you're the one. It's like what Cliff High says. You're responsible for your failure and your success. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just here to point you in the right way and provide you a service, right? As you've been paying for. So,
Yeah.
keep up the good work. I know most people don't have questions on their wins. Everybody has questions on their losses. So I'll have a chance. I'll take a look at this, but we got to start the next class here.
Sure.
So I'll see you in the main one, and
Yeah.
we'll
Sure.
be looking at
Yeah.
Bitcoin anyways. So we'll
Okay.
continue
Yeah.
there. Okay. But keep
Thank
up
you.
the great work, and keep up the trading, and keep up what you're doing here. We'll keep going through this. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much.
All
Yeah.
right. You're welcome. Talk to you again.
Bye.
Bye.